Well, I was at a recent panel discussion that was held at an ADN network, their national meeting in Las Vegas. And when we concluded the conversation, they asked all the panelists, what's the future? And I said, the future's a little spooky. And my reason for the future being a little spooky is if we get right down to the technician level and we look at what's happening, we're going to leave the price of gas alone. I mean, the price of gas thing's going to go crazy, and who knows what it's going to get to. But I'm convinced the American and the Canadian public, they'll make what changes they got to make to keep driving the car. There won't be maybe as much pleasure driving, but we drive cars to go to work, and we got to go to work, so it's going to happen. So setting the price of gasoline aside, and that would temporarily slow things down. I think it really gets down to the grassroots at the technician level. The original equipment people are obviously working very, very hard to capture a greater share of the independent aftermarket. All the statistics and all the numbers that I see say that they're doing that. I watch how they campaign my wife on her new car. I mean, they're on her like a bug on a rug, and won't let her get a breath of fresh air from the outside. Bring it back here for the oil change. Bring it back for this. Bring it back for that. And here she is, married to a guy for 30 years that's been in the aftermarket his whole life. And she asked the question the other day, should I take the car back to the dealer for an oil change? Well, you want to be shot? I mean, we have to do it in the independent channel, of course. So I think we have to be very aware of that the OEs are really working a hard mind game on John Q. Public to take it back to the car dealer. The other thing that we know is the car dealers are a lot more excited about the parts and the service business than they used to be. Our mutual good friend Bob Moore wrote a column in your magazine some time ago, and he talked about the 248 OE reality. They make a 2% net profit on new cars, 4% net profit on used cars, and 8% on parts and service. So as Bob said, even the car dealer can figure out that the parts and service business is not a bad business, and they have to be invested in that because of the warranty work. They're not doing as much warranty as they used to because the quality's better, so they're trying to come over and take more of the share here. My friend Jim Tennant from up in Winnipeg, Canada, a good AWDA member, mentioned at a recent AAI meeting that he believed that the car dealer penetration in Canada was maybe 36%. I mean, growing rapidly. So I think for those of us that say we sell to the independent market and the independent installer, we have to be very focused on what's happening on the OE side, which means things like right to repair are very, very important. We have to have the information for our technicians to be able to repair the vehicles. And then when we look at our technicians, are they as professional? Or their shops look as good as the car dealer? And in many cases, they don't. So we as an industry, what are we going to do to help these professional technicians? We need to teach them business skills, not just repair skills and diagnostic skills. We need to get more people to want to go into that business. You know, this aftermarket that we're in is really a culturally sensitive business. I tell the story that back in 1987 when we moved to the Ann Arbor, Michigan area, at that time with a company called JP Industries, I went to the first block party. And there were doctors, and there were lawyers, and there were dentists, and there were investors. And they asked me what I did, and I said I was in the auto parts business, and it was like I had bad breath. Everybody just avoided you. And I think many of the young people in our society think of the auto parts business as a less than business, particularly a technician's role. But if you think about the computerization that's in vehicles, I mean, these are high-tech jobs, not low-tech jobs, and they can be very, very successful jobs and a great career. So I think that we have to help our professional technicians. We have to make sure that we've got a ready supply of them coming in. We've got to make sure that they're presentable to John Q. Public, that they have all the tools and all the information necessary to be able to repair the vehicle as good as the car dealer, and then we've got at least a level playing field to try to compete with them on. Well, I mean, it depends on who you are in the aftermarket. If you're on the distributor level, I'd say that there are still some significant opportunities with consolidations, with buying other people, mergers, acquisitions, etc. I think there's some very, very strong opportunities there. The other overall industry opportunity, I mean, we all talk about $60 billion of unrepaired vehicles, maintenance, new windshield wipers, new brake jobs, etc., etc. Vehicles are going to keep lasting longer. People are going to keep them longer, so I think the aftermarket can be a good, robust business. On the supplier side, I think the opportunity is in this whole collaboration model. If you think about the true spirit of collaboration, if you can agree with a channel partner that you have that particular product line or that maybe individual part number, and he or she is going to buy that exclusively from you, and you're going to see when it's installed on the vehicle, the opportunities for improving our mutual profitability are pretty strong. And I think with a lot of the technology that's available in the market today, those types of things are realities.